All right, so we just finished this problem. Let's do another one. Here we are, x, 4x, and 3x, and we need a common denominator. All right, so if we just had 4 and 3, then our just trying to figure out what the thing was, then our common denominator would be 4 times 3, which is 12, and then we have an x. So that's our common denominator. All right, and so for the restricted domain, we need to set the common denominator equal to 0. To solve this, we just divide by 12. And so 0 divided by 12 is just 0. So the domain is x cannot equal 0. So when we solve this, if we get 0 as our answer, we have a little hiccup. But I'm not going to worry about that until if that happens. All right, so we need everything on the bottom to be 12x. All right, for this to be 12x, we need to multiply by 12 on the top and the bottom. So 12 times 3 is 36. 1 is the same as 1 over 1. And so for that to be 12x on the bottom, I need to multiply by 12x on the top and the bottom. And so 12x times 1 is just 12x. For 4x to be 12x, I need to multiply by 3 on the top and the bottom. So 5 times 3 is 15. For 3x to be 12x, I need to multiply by 4 on the top and the bottom. So 1 times 4 is 4. And so I have this guy. And remember, I can multiply the whole thing by 12x, and it would make the denominators disappear. So just take them out. And so what I really have is 36 minus 12x equals 15 minus 4, which is way prettier than what we had before. All right, so we can't, this 15 minus 4, that's 11. So what I really have is 36 minus 12x. All right, 11's by itself, so let's move the 36. 11 minus 36 is negative 25, but let me double check. Oops. Sure is. So I get is, come over here, negative 12x equals negative 25. All right, and then I'm going to divide by 12 on both sides. So that goes away, and so I just have x equals negative 25 over 12, and which is not 0. So everything's okay there. All right, so my answer is negative 25 over 12. All right, let's go to the next problem. All right, whew. All right, but it's okay, we can do this. This w squared, let's factor him, okay? We'll multiply is to give me negative 6. Adds give me 1, because remember that's like an invisible 1 right there. So it's going to be 2 times 3. And then 1 is positive, so the 3 is positive. So those are negative. So w squared plus w minus 6. That factors to w minus 2. W plus 3. Notice w minus 2. W plus 3. All right. And so I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you a crazy one. Like, you're going to be able to, even if it's a little complicated like that, you're going to be able to figure it out. All right, so we want every single, and I'm going to go ahead and just write the factored form. W minus 2, W plus 3, W minus 2, right, so big. You know what I should do? All right. W minus 2, W plus 3. Oh, still really big, but okay. w minus 2, 3, w2, all right, remember this w minus 2, w plus 3, that's the exact same as this w squared plus w minus 6. Right? So here we are. So I have w minus 2, but I need a w plus 3 on the bottom, so I need to multiply the top and the bottom by w plus 3. So when I multiply 1 times 1, w plus 3. Here I have a w plus 3, but I need a w plus minus 2 also on the bottom. So I need to multiply the top and the bottom by w minus 2. And then I have the 8. But he already has the right thing. And so when the denominator is all the same, you just take it out. So I have w plus 3. I'm going to delete that 1. He just disappears. You know what we never did? Hang on, let me write this. We never found the denominator. I mean the domain. All right, this was right here. W minus 2, W plus 3, that was our common denominator. Okay, and so we need to set that equal to 0. And so when we set that equal to 0, we're going to set each factor equals 0. So W minus 2 equals 0. We're going to add 2 to both sides, so we get positive 2. Then W plus 3 equals 0. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides. And so W cannot equal 2, and W cannot equal negative 3. Because if I plugged in 2 right there, I would get 0 on the bottom. If I plugged in negative 3 right there, I'd get 0 on the bottom, and everything would fall apart. All right, so this is our domain right here. Let me highlight that. W cannot equal 2, and W cannot equal negative 3. That's our domain. All right, so then W plus 3, I'm going to distribute that 2. 2 times W to W. 2 times negative 2, negative 4. I'm going to combine like terms. W plus 2W is 3W. 3 minus 4 is negative 1, and then 8. So I'm going to add this. That 8's a regular number, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So I get 3W equals 1. I'm going to add it to both sides, so I get 9. All right, so I get 3W equals 9. I need to divide by 3. So I get W equals positive 3. Positive 3, excuse me, is not 2 or negative 3. So we're okay. All right, let's do another round. Okay, so here they're all 3 different. Okay, that means that, and this is kind of like the hardest kind that you would get. That means that it's going to, this guy, I can make him easily have 2t. So now that's 2t. Then we have that t minus 1. So it's probably 2t and then t minus 1 is our common denominator. And then for our domain, you set that t minus 1 equal to 0. So you get 2t equals 0, t minus 1 equals 0. So when I divide by 2 here, I get t equals 0. So t cannot equal 0. And then t minus 1 equals 0. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So I get t equals positive 1. So t cannot equal positive 1. That's my domain. All right, t minus 1. T equals 1, t equals 0, that's my domain. And then my common denominator is this 2t, t minus 1. So I need everything to have 2t, t minus 1. 2t, t minus 1. And so we have a complicated step right before it gets really nice. Oftentimes that's like how it is in life, right? Like okay, I really want to go do such and such, but then it gets hard before it gets easy. All right, so 3, the only thing this is missing is t minus 1. This is a t minus 1, and what that's missing is a 2t, and then this is a t, so it's missing a 2 and a t minus 1. All right, so the bottoms are the same, so they go away. All right, so we have a, let me type this out. Oops. 3 t minus 1 minus 7 times 2t equals 2 t minus 1. Okay, that's what that says on the top. So let's multiply that stuff out. 3 times t, 3t, 3 times negative 1, negative 3. 7 times 2 is 14t. 2 times t, 2 times negative 1. So that's where we are. Let's combine like terms. 3 minus 14, negative 11, t minus 3, 2t minus 2. All right, I like the letters on the left, so let's subtract 2t. So I get negative 13t minus 3 equals negative 2. I'm coming here. Negative 13t minus 3 equals negative 2. Okay, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So I get negative 13t equals negative 2 plus 3 is 1. And then I need to divide by this negative 13. So I get t equals negative 1 over 13, which is not either of those numbers. So everything's fine. That was long and hard. That's really hard. It's going to get, watch me get another brawl. Let's see. All right, this one's out of it. All right, so 5x is going to be our denominator. Okay, we need domain, so we're going to set the denominator equal to 0. If we divide by 5, we get x cannot equal 0. That's our domain. X cannot equal 0. All right, so we need this to be 5x. We need this to be 5x. And we need this to be 5x. All right, he's an x, so I need to multiply by 5. 2 times 5 is 10. He's already 5x, so she hangs out the 1. So I need that to be 5x. I'm going to multiply by 5x. So negative 4 times 5x is negative 20x. Don't simplify, just take out the denominator. So I have 10 plus 6 equals negative 20x. So we really have 16 equals negative 20x. We need x by itself. So let's divide by negative 20. All right, so x equals negative 16 over 20, but we need to simplify. So if we divide everything by 4, we're going to get 4 over 5. So I get negative 4/5. That is not 0, so we're okay. I'm going to do another video. So just hang on, I'll do this problem.